Before we get into this pound for pound knockout of a film, please do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button right at the bottom. Creed 3 is the directorial debut of Michael B. Jordan. This is his first film. Rocky's not in this, just to let you guys know.
Right. This is the first movie from the Rocky series without Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. I didn't feel like it needed it to be because this was his story. But to be honest with you, man, I like this film.
The fact that Rocky's not here actually doesn't really hurt the movie. It makes sense that he's not here because in Creed 2, Adonis moved to California anyway. And Rocky lives in Philadelphia, so it makes sense that he wouldn't be here. But it is interesting that not only is Sylvester Stallone not in this film, he had almost nothing to do with the movie. As we all know, Sylvester Stallone not only starred in all the other Rocky movies, but he wrote most of them too. Sylvester Stallone is an exceptional writer, Academy Award winning, nominated writer. That doesn't necessarily mean that this movie was written poorly, because like you, Tyrone, I think I loved this movie. I thought this movie was freaking awesome. It was fun. Michael B. Jordan, for his directorial debut, boy, he's got an energetic style, man. Like that was fantastic. I watched all the Creed movies back to back to give myself a refresher. And one of the things that I was so blown away by was how good Creed 1 was. Oh my God. I was like, this movie is next level. I understand why Marvel gave Ryan Coogler the keys to Black Panther after watching Creed. I'd give that man anything. The level of creativity that he showed in Creed 1 was incredible. And there's so many long shots, like long cuts, just like the camera just sits there for fucking ever. And it's awesome. And it was, that style was sorely missing in Creed 2. And I was wondering if I would miss that style again in Creed 3. And while it's a different style, it's still a very good style that Michael B. Jordan has for Creed 3. His camera is not as still and confident, almost documentary like Ryan Coogler. It's not like that, but it is very energetic, and it's a fun movie. Someone from Adonis's past, his old friend Damian
Anderson,
also known as Diamond Dame, comes back from the past,
played by Jonathan Majors,
the awesome Jonathan Majors, and he has a chip on his shoulder. And Jonathan Majors delivers what I think is just an awesome performance. He feels like a caged tiger, like a lion. He has this rage that is just inside of him. You could tell he is trying to keep it down. So he's almost overcompensating with how cool he is with everything. He's like,
yeah, that's cool.
I'm okay with that.
I see you got your little family here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I made myself clear. You're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ice Pink's performance was awesome.
Yeah, he was like, I want a shot at the title.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly.
Not in the future, now, because if I didn't do this bid for you for 18 years, then you wouldn't have any of the things that you have today.
Right.
Looking at that,
he feels like Adonis stole his life. He is living the life that he should have had, and he wants his shot now. Not in a year, not in a month, right now. Did I make myself clear, or should I repeat that?
It's like, that's how he was. Yeah. That's exactly how he was.
Really?
You know? And Jonathan Majors, man, he is very intimidating as a villain, especially in this film. If you're comparing, the Marvel Universe with Ant-Man, he was good. And the reason why I gave that film what I gave it was because of him. He is a phenomenal actor, trained Yale actor, and it shows off in this film. He doesn't have to deliver his line. All he got to do before he delivers his line is a gesture to know that the line about to come out of his mouth is something serious. When he's like,
"Oh, homie, you don't remember me, huh? Come a long way from bumming rides from your mom."
Damn.
Because you can see that he's trying to temper it, you know.
Yeah, he's like,
what he wants to say is "F you" and fight, you know.
Yeah,
but he's not. He's like, calm down. This performance I loved it. And Michael B. Jordan, to his credit, he saw that, and he like you said, he just left that camera on Jonathan Majors and let that performance shine through. It wasn't like overcut. He didn't show the back of his head. He showed his face, and that rage was. I thought that was incredible.
Now, when you look into the issue of why this happens, because back in the day in 2002, which the clothes, it kind of fit what we were wearing back then.
Yeah, I thought about you the whole time. I was like, yo, this is like when me and Tyrone became friends around this time. Let's do the clothes. I was like, oh shit.
We were technically kind of Adonis's age at this time.
We're a little younger, but we're close. Real close.
Yeah, close. But Dame, he was older. He's like 18 at this point. And he is a amateur boxer. They go to this nightclub where there's underground boxing, wins a bunch of money and stuff like that. He's telling Adonis what he's gonna do. He's like, I'm gonna make it to the big time, turn pro and everything. And they stop at this gas station, and then he sees this guy by the name of Leon. And he sees this guy, and he's like, I'll whoop your ass. Starts whipping on him. Dane pulled a gun out on these dudes and saying, get off of him. And he was about to shoot these guys, and the cops came up. Adonis ran. And the opinion of the villain in this movie is like, you shouldn't have ran. Now, I agree with Adonis. Get the hell out of here. You're a kid. You shouldn't even be there in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You should have stayed your ass at home.
Right. That's the real problem, that they were both fucking up, right? They both shouldn't have been out there in the first place. Damien goes to jail for years, and Adonis gets away. This causes a rift, and you can tell through that fantastic performance that Damien has sat in jail and just boiled and just been angrier and angrier and angrier.
Watching Adonis fight on TV.
Right. And that rage has gone over the top, and now he's free, and he not only wants a shot at his old life, the life that he thinks is rightfully his, but he also just wants to get one over on Adonis. One of the really good things about the Creed series is, sure, there's boxing, the movie has, fun action boxing and stuff, but the bulk of the film is not that, right? That's the service level. But the actual movie is about healthy communication from one man to another.
D, you have got to open up at some point. I don't know what else to tell you. I need to understand what is going on.
Some sad story? You trying to feel sorry for me or something?
I don't want to feel sorry for you. I want to understand you. I want to know what is going on with you in my house.
And this is something that I think is very rarely depicted in movies, like healthy communication between men. and I wish that kind of happened in real life too, because a lot of guys kind of need that shit. But in this movie,
you stepped on my Timbs.
Yeah, exactly. Woo, 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 right? And that person that you just described, that you stepped to my Timbs, that guy, that was Adonis as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And we see in Creed 1 that Adonis is in and out of like juvie all the time because he doesn't know how to communicate his anger, communicate his frustration, and he fights. He uses boxing as his outlet. And Damien is in a very similar position, except he was more or less frozen in time because he was stuck in prison. Yes. So he still has the rage, he still has the anger, and he is just barely holding on for dear life to keep that rage and that anger from taking over his life. Yeah. In Creed 1, and this didn't happen so much in Creed 2, which is probably why people didn't like it. But in Creed 1, when the boxing match starts, the movie gets more and more surreal. Right, things slow down. The music starts pumping up. You get kind of like this pop music going,
pressuring Ricky Conlon and making him fight.
And things get more and more surreal. Michael B. Jordan took that to like another level, where literally he goes into another world. He's in another universe when he's fighting.
That is in part of his love for anime. When they're fighting each other, they go into into his mind,
right?
And you see Adonis gets wrapped up in a jail cell, you know, and he's like, he's stuck there and he's seeing different things. They're seeing each other when they're kids across from each other. Right. And that's just the mental aspect of the fighting. And then you see where the physical side of the boxing is also them seeing each other, seeing where they can be able to hit and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And noticing certain spots on the body. And then there's one freaking hit that's a little bit in the trailer that is just like Goku punching somebody in the freaking stomach. Right. It was just freaking awesome how he did that. And he slowed the camera down to see the sweat coming out the back. I'm like, Michael B. Jordan, you letting off in this movie, boy, with your camera.
But then if you dig a little deeper into that scene, right, the movie is very cool and it's very visually arresting, but he's also teaching you something that becomes very important. He's teaching you through the camera work what Adonis sees, because Adonis he's thinking about tactics. He's thinking about how can I get an opening? How do I get this guy? And so through that fight, we see Jonathan Majors block himself like this over and over, right? It's very intentional. He keeps doing this, right? And he's doing this to teach you, like, this is his block. Do you remember? This is his block. Fun reminder. This is his block. This is block. And then when
boxers do block like that too.
And then when we get to the really important part, and they seeded this earlier when Michael B. Jordan was like, some people think boxing is about violence, but it's not. It's about patience and tactics. So he's waiting for his block to open. And the second that opens like this, he sneaks that punch in there. I was like, he taught me that. He taught me some like boxing mechanics without saying anything. He was not like, this is boxing. No, he visually showed us that. Actually, that shows an exceptional confidence in your camera, and it shows exceptional knowledge of like film language. Like that's great.
Film language. Yes. That. He's basically trying to teach his daughter that violence is not the answer. You can't be the bully that's just going to be fighting all the time. You gotta, work this smart.
You gotta use your brain, right?
Use your brain,
and that's something Damien never learned, right?
No,
because he was all about the violence. He was about the violence so much that he cheated in his fights. You know what I mean? Yeah. He snuck in every little pot shot he could, and he never learned that lesson that Michael B. Jordan's character was trying to teach his daughter.
I feel that this is a great entry to the Rocky franchise, to the Creed franchise. Michael B. Jordan did an amazing job, and I cannot wait to see what he directs next. This film is smart. This film is heartwarming. I got to give this film a straight up A.
Great. I'm giving this one an A too. I think this was an incredible debut, a directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan. It was such a selfless debut too. Yes, he was the star of the film, but he allowed other actors, other people to breathe. He shared scenes with other phenomenal actors, and he gave everyone their moment to shine. He gave Tessa Thompson some awesome moments where his character is not here, right? Not there. But he gave Jonathan Majors some awesome moments where he is not there. We talk about how sometimes it's a curse to both star and direct in your own film. It's too much to do, right? But Michael B. Jordan didn't seem to have that issue at all. I think it's a healthy film. I like the message of the film. Violence is not always the answer, and that, guys, sometimes you need hugs too.
I think one of the bad things about Bruise, it was just Halle Berry alone. Right. She had no acting help. She was pushing as much as she can on that film by herself, putting all she can into the acting. But there was no one else feeding her back that same type of energy on screen, actor-wise.
It was her and the child. Like, that's tough.
Do you recommend this film?
I highly recommend this film. And not only do I recommend this film, I recommend the entire Creed franchise. This is really, really good. And Michael B. Jordan, through Creed and through this film itself, I think has just reinvigorated the Rocky franchise. And what a great time to do that, because apparently boxing, there was a time people thought boxing as a sport was dying and it was fading into the background. But now it's getting its feet back under him. He got some new stars rising. So this is just perfect timing for this film to come out. I highly recommend this film and the whole series.
And I highly recommend this film. plus the whole series also, if you haven't seen any of the Creed films.
It's always exciting to see young directors do really good shit, because we've got more good movies coming in the future. I'm like, oh, thank God. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that.
More importantly, what do you think of Creed 3? Get in the comments and let us know if you saw it, and let us know what you thought of it, all right? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate it. Can you do us a favor? Subscribe, please. Subscribe. It really will help us out. Our subscriber count's been going up. It's because of awesome people like you. Hey, if you did like our rating for this film, hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit the thumbs down. Whichever you choose, it is your opinion. Just remember one thing. It is mostly wrong. See you guys in another video. Well, I'm about to get in that gym and start hitting the heavy bag.
Oh yeah, I know, right? It really makes you want to, but if you ever actually hit the heavy bag, it's like, ow.
I did hit it before, yeah.
You're like, I'd rather sit down.